What's going on, you amazing people? Jacob Bowler here, and tonight we're going to talk about things. Things, what are things, and how do things work, and how everything works in correlation to a thing. Sounds like a lot of things? It is. Alright guys, so I'm going to break this down real simple, right? You ever feel that time where you're like, oh my gosh, I would love that. All I ever want is that. I'm going to be so happy when I have that. That thing could be some shoes, could be a bag, it could be a phone, it could be the latest and greatest of anything. It could be literally a car, a home, anything, a thing, okay? But when you have that thing, you finally get it. You finally achieve this thing, and you have it. And you feel so good, right? You're like, yes, I have it, it's mine. I now own that thing. And now my status has changed because I have this thing. I have this thing makes me better. Does everyone see me holding this thing? Does everyone see me wearing this thing? Look at this thing I'm wearing. How good am I now? How amazing, how much self-worth I must have. You must all worship me now. You must think I'm great, right? And we want to show it off. But then comes a time where it no longer matters to you. You went from having this precious brand new phone. Yes, I'm the first to have it. Or I've got the brand new phone. Oh my gosh, and you put it in a little case, you put a little thing on it, you're so gentle, just like your sunglasses, you're everything. There you go. It's my precious. Do you see that? Put it out. See that? Very precious. And then time passes. And that thing that you so gently put down and made sure it wasn't scratched, you'll now just like, yep, just throw it in your bag, throw it on the table, just like you drop it, who cares? You no longer are drawing energy off that. Your ego is no longer attached to the significance of that. You're no longer feeling significant anymore because of that. So, and your attention is now gone to a new thing. Your attention is gone to a new product, a new status quo that you can sort of like buddy up to. Hey, look, I know a famous guy or a famous girl. Look at my Instagram. And that somehow changes who you are or makes you better. People go, oh, but I've got famous friends. I live at this place, look at this place. But you living at that place doesn't mean anything different to you. You're like, I'll be so happy when I live there. You live there, give it 6 months, it's no longer it doesn't mean anything to you. It's just another place. And now you're like, oh, but now I want to live there. You're constantly chasing that next fix. You're constantly chasing that next validation. Trying to fulfill yourself externally because you're internally missing your self-worth and your self-belief, your self-respect. You're missing it all, so you try to externally do it. Give it to me. I have this. But that doesn't last. You ever notice? That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't last. And the most beautiful thing ever is when you watch people do this whole process and then they no longer care. Give them a compliment on that thing. Yeah. It's like that car, right? Everyone wants a Ferrari or whatever you want, but everyone wants a Ferrari. Then they have the Ferrari, right? Then it's just another car eventually. You're just like, no, whatever. Or that painting, or that nice chair, that nice dining set. It doesn't mean anything to you. That's the kind of gauge that you see. If it's ego, never lasts. And if it's soul, lasts forever. You'll always feel that way. It's like, if you're trying to decide what you're supposed to do in life, your decision in anything, if your first thought lasts, just wait, just pause, put your brakes on, time out. If you keep thinking the same thing, if you keep feeling the same way, pull the trigger on it, because that is your soul speaking. But if you're like, yes, and then boom, it's gone, you can't remember it, or you're like, oh, it's gone. Yeah, don't do that. It's like the whole thing, never make a life decision when you're angry or emotional. That's what this is, guys. Now, like I was saying, the fun thing to do with these people that are so materialistic is when they no longer give a shit about the thing. The ego is gotten all sucked the life out of you from this product, this thing, right? It's like people that brag, oh, I've been to this country. This is how many countries I've been. Have a look at my photos. But yet you can't feel the way you felt when you're in that country. You feel better because you've been there. I don't know why people do that. Very bizarre behavior. But anyway, give them a compliment on the thing that they no longer care about. And they're like, oh yeah, it's my thing, yes. Like it? It's pretty amazing. Guess how much it was? Do you know how rare this is? It's very rare, it's very expensive. You can't have it. And because now, if you ask for that thing, even if that thing is sitting in a cupboard, never been used, ever, and you ask for that, cool, can I use that? Or, oh, hey, you're not using that. I really need that. Now, common sense would be, yeah, sure, no worries. I don't give a shit. And you don't give a shit. Because you wouldn't give a shit because you no longer think about it, you no longer need it. And that's the normal thought process. If you don't use it, you don't need it. But guess what happens? The ego, oh, I've got an opportunity. I'm going to take this energy. I'm going to say, no, this is mine. Hell no, do you know how expensive this was? But there's no monetary value. There's no value to it whatsoever. The only value that you have for it is now because that person is asking for that. It now has a prevalent. It's more valuable to you. Yes. No, I can't. No, I'm gonna wear this. No, I'm gonna hang that painting. Yeah. No. Can't do that. It's mine. Why would you ask that? It's absurd. That's a behavior pattern. It's bizarre to watch. If you don't need it, the word is there because that's what it is. You don't need it. 99.99% of the shit you buy, you don't need. It's just a thing. And to base your entire existence, to base your so-called social status on a thing is moronic. On something that can be destroyed, on something that you can buy, you're pretty cheap. That's weird behavior. They despise expensive shit, or they have a bunch of shit, and somehow that gives them a level up. They're better than others, except the thing that they have can be bought, exchanged for cash. It's pretty cheap. The things that if you want to be boastful about, be boastful about the things that money can't buy this. Like your dignity, your respect, your honor, self-worth. You can't buy that. Your family, your children, your husband, your wife, your son-in-law. You can't buy that. But if you are so fucked up and get so emotionally, irrationally out of control, and your value is on a thing that can be destroyed, then it's just moronic. Like, why would you put your soul on something that can be taken? Why don't you put your soul back in your bloody soul and be eternal? Fulfill forever. Why don't you seek moments that are fulfilling instead of things? Why don't you create those moments? Why don't you seek memories that last a lifetime? Why don't you create those memories that last a lifetime? Everyone needs to take photos, selfies, but you don't remember you're there. You don't feel it. You weren't embracing it. You have no idea what the vibrational frequency of that moment, that place, that memory was. Because you're too busy to get to the next one. The more I have, the better I am. But you come into this world with nothing and you leave with nothing, and it's simply who you are. That is your value. It's like the whole measurement of success is the positive impact on yourself, the people around you, and the world at large. I have this thing that I do, and I've done this for maybe 9 years now. I give everything away. And now I was very materialistic. I was a fucking idiot. Be the first one to admit it. And I had everything. My whole driving force in life was to have everything. More than I ever needed. I was very driven, and it drove me as a child to work my ass off and I was the first person to buy their own car, to modify their cars. I had 2 cars by the age of 18. One was a rally car and one was a show car. I had everything. 10 grand of theatre system. I was 16 years old. My parents wouldn't buy me a surfboard. They never bought me a surfboard. I bought my first surfboard at the age of 12, saving up money, washing cars, to buy my own board. I was 16 and I bought my $1,000 surfboard, one of my whole life. I had everything, guys. Everything that you could ever dream of. Everyone wants these Beat headphones. Yeah, I got to spend $1,000 on headphones. I tried to give them away in the gym. Everything, just believe. Lived in penthouses on the beach, drove the flashiest cars, had the nicest suits, had more laptops and iPads than I could ever do with. I just sat there and looked at them. And I gave every single thing I owned away. I've done this 3 times in my life. I've walked away from everything because I saw how detrimental it was to my soul. I was so materialistically bound. It was bullshit. Utter bullshit. So I sought out moments to give it away. Like, I remember the clothes I had on my back was all I had. I gave away all my wardrobe, all my suits and cufflinks and ties and shoes and fortune in clothes and laptops and beds and kit. Every single thing in my house, in my unit, was gone. I went and got a new mattress and put it on the ground. And then I did it again and again and again. And I no longer, like, if I don't need it, I just give it away. Why am I trying to hold on to something that I don't need and don't use? And why am I trying to get those people that hoard onto things and I'm not going to get rid of it? I've got to get this much for this. Why would you put yourself stressed out? Like stupid people that try to sue people, go through court and stuff like that. I've had that, and like people are like, oh yeah, fuck them over, get that money. I'm like, why? Why would I waste my time, my mind, my clarity of mind? Why would I cloud and poison myself for something so cheap as money? It's pathetic. It's like my value for myself, peace and harmony, is 1,000,000,000 times more. There's no price, it's priceless. I don't give a fuck what you say. No fucks are given. I don't care. I don't care. You steal? Well, thanks. Or like you try to, take from me? Great, take it. Try to fuck me over. That's fine. I'm actually investing that thing that you're trying to take. I'm actually giving that freely so I get to see your character and see how worthless you truly are. How pathetic of a human being you have belittled yourself to being. You should be embarrassed, not proud. That's what I say. I'm like, I don't get angry. I just say, you're done. You're finished. I don't care who it is. Whether it's parents, whether it's family members, whether it's partners, I don't care. Business people I'm in business with, I don't care. No, goodbye, you're finished, you're done. Parents that steal your inheritance, lie to you. Sisters and family members that steal from you. Thank you. Now I know the trash that's around me, and I can take that trash out. And it's just like, you surround yourself by what you choose to be. You surround yourself by what you are. You are what you surround yourself by. And if you don't set the standards and you don't create boundaries, they won't. So don't get angry or egoic about it. Pity them. Understand where they're at. They're literally at the bottom and they're just trying to pull you down. Because guess what? People with abundance, they never take. If you have everything and your abundance from within and it flows externally, it comes from here. Why would you ever take? When you've got so much self-worth, a thing like a materialistic thing has no worth to you at all. It's an external thing. And I'll tell you what, guys, the moment you don't want that thing, that's the moment that thing shows up. That's how it works. It's bizarre as that. If you don't want money, money's always there. If you no longer attach yourself to anything, especially something so fragile and so simplistic as a thing, then you raise yourself up. I'll tell you this little thing that I love to do, guys. And it's like, yeah, these things, and we might need things, and that's when I purchase these things. That's it. And I use them, and then I give them away. I donate them. So many times I love just dropping stuff down at the donation bin in the middle of the night. No one will ever know. I'm not making a big skeptical about it. Oh, look at what I'm giving. I don't care. Here's the thing. It's a way to play with inside yourself, that whole seeking things. And people try to hold on to something. Like, guys, so you try to hold on to that thing? That feels good, right? You got it, you achieved it, you have it. Yeah, it's mine, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Why wouldn't you want to keep repeating that same feeling of achieving and having that and receiving that? It's bizarre behavior. People gamble and lose everything. People drink and drugs and waste their money on trash. Why don't you get your adrenaline pumping? Why don't you use your money or your time to enjoy it? So I do this thing. I'll get rid of it and I'll give it away. And then I'll go buy a new one. It's fun. And then once I'm finished with that, I'll give it away. And then if I need it again, I'll go buy a new one. So if I'm like traveling around the world, right, I don't like to travel with a bunch of crap. Literally. Like when I went and traveled to Thailand for the first time, I had a backpack and the clothes that I'm wearing and something to sleep in. That was it. A backpack, an art book, some pencils, and some warm clothes to sleep in. And the clothes that I was wearing, and that was it. Everything else I gave away before I left. And everything I had over there, I used it and left it there. Gave it away. Thousands and thousands, who gives a fuck the price? I didn't need it. And then when I got back to Australia, I went and bought it again. And I got to feel that experience over and over and over again. I got to give, and that was incredible. I got to help people. That was incredible. And I got to experience the whole thing of wanting. The feeling of, the great feeling that you get for working for something, and then receiving it, enjoying it, and remembering, wow, I had this happen again. That's amazing. Like what do you think money is? Money is to save yourself time and drama, and to increase your pleasure in life, and not joy, pleasure. The pleasure of going skydiving, the pleasure of going, I want to spend time and live in a rainy place for 6 months because I want that, or in the sun. The pleasure of going and traveling the world, the pleasure of saving street animals and actually making something. That's what money's for. And the bullshit, you're like, okay, if I'm gonna go and waste my mental fortitude and peace, and I could pay for this to go away, yeah, of course. If someone's so petty and they're like, blah, blah, blah. Like, people have done this before. I'm like, how much will it cost you to shut up and stop your ego bullshit? They're losing their temper. They're getting all crazy. And I'm like, how much will it take to fix this? And they're like, yeah, it's been as cheap as $50. And that person's now calmed down. But ironically, they find a new thing to make a problem about. But that's their shit, not mine. It's not my problem that you've got a problem. That's another thing, guys. It's not your problem if someone else has a problem. Now, if you create the problem intentionally, that's not cool. But if there is a problem and it's not an intentional thing, there is no malicious plot, it's not your problem. It's like someone losing their temper at you because you're not doing what they want, when they want, how they want, the way they want, their expectations. That's not healthy for you or them. They've got a problem. Their problem's inside of themselves. They have expectation and an egoic rampage they're on, and they expect you to jump through their hoops. And if you don't, you're the problem. If you say no, oh, you're the problem. You're a terrible, terrible person, yet you're the terrible person abusing people. Yeah, and how does that work? How am I the terrible person if I say no? They're like, don't do this. And you're like, why? Because I said so. Well, I believe differently, and my life is my life, and yeah, if it's harming no one, it's doing nothing wrong, like by human law, universal law, or law, and it's only in your vindictive mind that I shouldn't do this, then no. And it's like a beautiful thing. I remember this quote once said, learn to say no and not need to give an excuse. Learn to say no and not need to give a reason. And if some people cannot accept that you say no, that's punching their ticket to get out of your life. Exchanging your time for money has to end, because you just end up with no life and not experiencing what really life is. And the thing about this is, if you're wasting my time, you're wasting my life. The set unknown amount of time that I have on this planet to experience it as the greatness as it is, and you're wasting it, you're a thief, you're trash, get out. You have to understand that your time has no price. It is priceless. You give it for free if you can, but you do not let people take from you. If you're working at home and people haven't figured out yet that you're working, and like, go do this, and you're like, yep, I'm working on something, I'm busy, yeah, but go do this, or take the trash, or do some chores, and you're like, I am working. My time is precious. I'm here mentally, fortitude created a way to do this. I sit here and I've mentally prepared, I've structured it, I've programmed, I've done everything, and this is what I'm gonna do, and then we do it like this, and then, oh, go take out the trash. You're like, but no. And if you don't do it, I'm gonna make sure that you suffer. I'm gonna punish you. Because you're not doing what I want, when I want, how I want. But if you go and find out how long it actually takes, 30 to 40 minutes to get your brain back to exactly where you were before they interrupted you, send them an invoice. That will shut them up real quick. I've had to do this before. Send them an invoice and say, guys, you'll pay for every single minute that you wasted my day. Because that minute is money that I could be making. But it's not about the money that I could be making, it's the impact that my time that I invest into things does for the world. So that goes beyond money. I'm like, do you know how many people die every day? Every second? Do you know how many people commit suicide? Do you know how many people deal with depression, anxiety, PTSD? Abuse? Do you know how many children are getting abused? Do you know how many street animals are getting killed and abused and cut up to meat? How many girls are getting raped? Do you know how much traumatic and terrible shit is happening every single minute of every single day? And the thing that I'm working on is to end the suffering of humanity through the crappy little hands of the ego. Yeah, my time is very precious. My life's very precious. My life's work is priceless. You have to cull the masses. If the people around you aren't making you level up and are positive and vibrationally match your goal, your intention, your highest calling, it's time to let them go, guys. Because they are a thing too. Understand where you're at. Understand where they're at. And if they don't match, say goodbye. And if they don't accept that, if they can't accept the way that they're negatively impacting you, there's the evidence. You don't need it anymore. Just start living for you. Because the greater you are in here, the greater externally that you're going to be, and the greater impact that you're going to have on the world will be a better place because you were in it. Isn't that something important? The legacy, even though that nobody may know your name, you've left a legacy. If you've helped one person, one life, whether it is a person or an animal, if you have helped them, then you are pure grace and greatness. You have not lived a life wasted. And if you've stopped and you've become this vindictive, egocentric freak, you know where to go. You've been that person. And if you've never been that soulful human being, well, stop being the thing that you are and be the thing that you truly are. You don't ever stop being the negative. You simply be the thing that you choose to be, and that is the manifestation that you shall receive. We are all greatness. We are all soulful beings. No longer seek this materialistic validation. Seek the soulful experience. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to tell people who you are. When people meet you, so what do you do for a living? Live life? Blows their minds. Why? Because when people ask you that, they are gauging the level of respect that they should give you. If you are asking, and if someone's like, so I do this for a living? Go, dude. I live life for a living, and that's the best way to explain, to blow the whole egoicness out of the water. Because the only way to deal with this is consciousness. Whether they become conscious because of the conversation you're having, or become conscious for the lack of the conversation you're having with them. People either because of you become conscious by the things that you are actively doing, or because of you later on, because you've removed them out of your life, they'll become conscious. You can't save people. You've got to stop trying. You can only inspire and guide them. And if they want to walk through that door, be on the other side, but never, ever, ever go back through that door for others. It's about integrity in here, because if you sacrifice your happiness to be with someone else, there is all sorts of wrong happening there. One, why are you lowering yourself to that standard? Two, why are you letting people lower yourself to that standard? And three, if you're the person pulling that person down, let the fuck go. Stop being selfish. If you're not a positive benefit to yourself, the people around you, and the world at large, do the work that you need to do. Us teachers have been saying and teaching the same thing since the beginning of humankind. Why is it hard? Well, we get into that later in the programs. It's hard because you do the things that you internally are. It's like people litter and people hurt others and steal and rape and abuse and murder and all this stupid crap, because that's who they are internally. You can only do that which you are. So don't try and be anything that you're not. And that's a bad person. You're not a bad person. You're born perfect. And it's not the environment that you come up in which makes you who you are. That's a fucking excuse, guys. I have every excuse under the sun to be the worst human being on the planet. But I'm not. I strive to be the best human being on the planet. I strive to lead by example. You want to say, oh, I'm going to do this because of this? They say, oh, lack of education, go get a freaking education. Oh, but my parents were like this, or my mum and dad were like this, or I was sexually abused, or I was raped, I was beaten, fucking cults and shit like that. Yeah? So that's your excuse? Oh, I don't believe in myself, and that's your excuse? Oh, it's easier, that's your excuse. Because all you've got is excuses, but you haven't got a single reason to stand. You've got to know it ends with you, and it's supposed to end with you. These things happen in your life so that you may learn from it and help others going through that. And that is simply all I am doing. Because all that list of things, I went through that. My life was pure fucking hell. But I let that be my stepping stone for greatness. When somebody is going through something, I'm like, I know what you're going through. And when I say, I know what you're going through, I mean it because I've been there, and there's my proof. Isn't that worth something greater than any price? Isn't that a good enough reason? I think so. Let your pain make you grow instead of making you seriously sink to the bottom of the ocean. It's gonna hurt anyway. Why don't you get something out of it? Why don't you be at least who you choose to be? Instead of being everything that you don't want to be. It's supposed to end with you guys. You're not supposed to pass that same behavior that others have done to you on to others. It's happened because you're supposed to use it. It's like you've gotten some skill set that is, painful and traumatizing. But you have a depth that can't be bought. Every dollar that you lose is an investment. Every person that fucks you over it's your muscle growing, your strength, your willpower. Everything that's ever terribly happened to you has also been the same positive things happening to you, but you're so focused on the terrible. I can sit there and be grateful why my life was so bad. And I'll do that for you right here. I grew up in a family law court, fighting for my life for 12 years as a little child. That was my 12 years, that was my childhood. Witness protection. I was sexually abused and sacrificed by a fucking cult. Yeah, that was my life. Watching my mother and my sister being beaten and me being beaten. And being on the run for our lives. Yeah. Living in a hut made out of wood with no running water or electricity in the middle of the bush, hiding. Then my sister, anorexia nervosa, for another 12 years. It was crazy. 12 years. This is my life. She was sent home to die. She's the worst person. And the violence and psychotic, schizophrenic, bipolar mother that tries to break your arm, threatens to kill you in your sleep. Yeah, tries to fight you and beat you. Guess what? You don't know who your dad is because she's a slut. But then you find your father and he wants nothing to do with you. And the other guy that's pretending to be your father is the person that abused you. And then you get a stepdad that's a druggo and an alcoholic and it's not there. You want us to keep going? Yeah. A mother that makes you believe that you're dyslexic and you can't read and write just so that she can get money from the government. So you grow up believing that you're stupid and dumb, so you don't read and write. Then you go through school, get bullied and picked on by fucking everyone, even the teachers. Put in a disability room with people with real disabilities. Put in rooms in another room facing the wall. Yeah, that's my childhood. The list goes on and on and on. Breaking your back when you're 19 years old. Wasn't a break, it was a fracture, but there goes 2 years of my life. Not being able to work properly. I get my job and then I can't do it. and then going and changing your life around and going for it, and it all burns in front of you. Everything burns in front of you. You find out your parents steal your inheritance, and you're struggling. And this is the worst part, guys, is I had another motorbike accident and I broke my back. I wasn't paralyzed, so this is twice. I had a car accident, and then I broke my back and fractured it really badly, and I spent 5 years in rehab. And for the first year, I couldn't even afford it. Yeah, I just sit there suffering. Then later find out that my parents stole my inheritance that I could have paid for doctors. The list goes on and on with every single thing. Friends stealing your cars, partners just being schizo, and it's just endless. But I don't give a fuck. It ends with me. I'm not going to keep that inside of me and dumping that on others. No, I'm going to use this, by the way, the story goes on forever, and that's in my autobiography. But I use these things to build what I'm building. I pulled myself out of hell. I healed myself internally and externally, so that I now can pass that wisdom on. It's not some bullshit that you want to make money off, 10 steps to making money. No. This is simply what I did to change my life. What I did to end depression, PTSD, anxiety. I tried to kill myself once. I lived a life that I was trying to die. I used to sit there and wish I was dead so that my parents could suffer. And the night that broke up with my girlfriend when I was 18, I was on the cliff in front of the house, going to jump off the roof, down the cliff. My parents didn't even leave their house. They didn't care. But my friend was there. He drove an hour to come to find me, climbed up the roof, and held on to me and said, "I love you, you're my brother. And if you go, I go." And that changed my life. I realized you can't rely on people. And I stopped living a life that I was constantly pushed into the limits. Rock climbing without harnesses. Drifting and racing like a fucking idiot through the streets with no... I didn't care. Middle of the day, drifting, kill anyone. I could kill myself and I didn't care. I wanted to die. I was in pain. You name it, guys. And I decided to it ends. It was at that point where it's either I end or it ends. And you know what? I got vicious. I got pissed off for greatness. My viciousness, I just screamed and roared, and this beast came out inside of me. And it was the most positive beast ever. And I'm like, I'm not going to fuck my life up. I am not going to fuck anyone else's life up, and I'm not going to take my life because of someone else's trash that they didn't take care of. They just dump it on the next person, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to end my life, and I'm not going to be depressed because of them. And that's where I got vicious. And I want this heartfelt story, and there's so many I have, and that's why I'm telling you. That's what my life program is about. That's why I do everything the way I'm doing. That's why I have art, to inspire and reach people. Because that's what an artist does. That's why I'm doing everything in this most weird and bizarre way, but this is the bizarre way that I've reached people. I'm playing video games and some people struggling with their life, and I'm like, and they're just talking. I was like, and literally getting messages from people saying, "You've literally changed my life. I look at life totally different, and thank you. Whoa. My cause came together because I was a personal trainer, still am, and my clients, like dealing with emotional trauma, were transformed. And they're like, you have to get this out, you're not just that. And it was because of my clients pushing me that I faced my dyslexia and learned to write. I taught myself how to write. So everything that you may see, if it might be misspelled, but I'm trying. I've written that. I've overcome not knowing how to read and write to writing 3 books, a life program over 100,000 words, and using a literal app called Grammarly to do it. And you know how, if it's not correct, I use Google. I use a sentence. If I don't know how to write sentence, I'm like, that was a great sentence. And it will come up, is this what you think? And if I don't know the spelling, I look at the picture and I go, yep, that's it. I cut that, I go back to Grammarly and I paste it in there. This is not a paid advertisement. That is how I put myself through college, using Google like that. That is how I've written this program. You think, holy shit, I'm sitting there trying to do everything myself. Learning to edit, learning how to build an app, all of this crazy stuff. It's all me doing that. It's a one-man army right here, and my army is passionately driving to help people. That's how I just don't care. I will literally just keep charging forward, an unstoppable force, an unmovable object, so that I can reach people. And I'm doing that, and it's just like, I thought I figured it out. I'm like, imagine a Tony Robbins, imagine an Eckhart Tolle, imagine a Buddha, and then imagine like a clothing company that reaches billions of people. Like my thing back then was like DC or something like that. And then having somebody like Ken Block, which was funny because I didn't know Ken Block made DC. And then having YouTubers, the massive thing of having a clothing company, of being someone motivational, reaching people through a medium like the 21st century, through like making content from drifting or ventures or vlogs or gaming or tattoos, whatever it is. Imagine that. Imagine the impact that would have, and that person having a life program, a way to help end that. Imagine that. End obesity, end suicide, end depression. That would be amazing. And I was like, holy shit. Thank you, God. Because now I know what to do. And that's what I'm doing. Life coach and personal trainer, spiritual advisor, using the medium of the 21st century, making content videos and gaming and drifting and adventures and seminars to reach people with that life program product, and using merchandise such as clothing and surfboards and skateboards, with tattooed, styled, amazing art as moving billboards to reach the masses. That's it. Pretty simple. Something I do every day. It is just me. I love helping people. I love helping animals. I love writing, ironically. I love art. I love playing video games so much. I love drifting and going on adventures and taking photos and meeting people and stuff like that, doing these videos. I love it. I can do 17 and a half hours nearly every single day of my life. How am I doing that? Well, because I love it. Simple as that, guys. That's how I'm doing it. Like, I don't know how to get this out. And I was too busy trying to get this out on small-minded people. And I realized, beautiful little quote I saw on Pinterest, trying to give you, like, stop trying to explain yourself to small-minded people, and if they don't get it, it's not because you're not doing it right, it's just because they aren't consciously expanded enough. And I didn't quite understand this, because what I was doing, I was like, how do I elevator pitch this? I'm like, because I didn't know the outcome, because it's kind of like, you know, walking in faith. God, the universe had a plan, and I was just following. But now that I am where I am, and it's like the literal dawn of it, it's pretty amazing. And it's actually simple for me. I'm like, wow, that is a lot simpler and easier to explain than I thought. It's me. And I'm just doing the things I love to do. If you do what you love for a living, then you're never gonna work a day in your life. And it's not a hassle. So guys, I want to tell you guys that I've started Patreon. I'm starting the Kickstarter, the whole process. I have beautiful friends here in Brazil and in Thailand. They've got stores that they tattoo and barber stores and stuff like that, and they are seeking my products. They love it, and they said yes, they want to put my products in their stores. I'm seeking and it's just like we're so close on getting it all out there. I'm so happy. And if you know a guy, people that can help out, you know, donating or subscribing, guys, just subscribe to my platforms, my social media. You donate if you can, but if you can't, that's fine. Just please help me get this out there, because it being out there, that's why the platform to expand, do it so large, is because it's to reach 8 billion people all suffering from the ego. It's kind of a big thing, but it's important. You know, life's important. So subscribe, hit that little thingy bell. What else do? You like it, and I want you to leave a positive comment. Now guys, I'm gonna keep doing these videos and leave a question, and I will answer it in the next video. Okay? So look after yourselves, look after each other. Have a good night, and see you in the next video.